For a long time, Taehyung and Jungkook's fans had been waiting for this moment. After returning from military service, the stage was once again filled with energy, smiles, and emotions. But amid all the reunions and greetings, there was one that caught everyone's attention, that of Jungkook and Taehyung. Seeing them together again reminded many why their closeness has always been so special. After performing a song with jhope, Jungkook didn't hesitate to greet the rest of his bandmates. However, it was clear there was one person he looked at with special affection, Taehyung. No need to say anything. His gestures, the way he approached him, and that special smile they both share when they are close were enough. That instant was enough for fans to feel that despite the time and distance, their connection remains intact. From the beginning, Taehyung displayed a slightly more reserved attitude. On several occasions, he made small, funny gestures, even losing his balance and falling off his chair for a few seconds. Although this seemed like a simple, funny moment, many noticed that behind the laughter lay a certain nervousness. After so much time, seeing Jungkook again surely held a special meaning for both of them. As the event progressed, we saw Taekook move together, dance together, and show affection without worrying about the cameras or who was watching them. There were sincere hugs, glances, and a closeness that spoke for itself. Despite being surrounded by people and flashing lights, the two seemed to be in their own space, as if everything else had disappeared around them. The most interesting thing about this reunion was how, without needing words, they made it clear that their bond remained strong. It wasn't just greetings or public hugs. It was a silent, yet powerful, form of communication that revealed how much they had missed each other. Their gestures, their movements, and the way they looked at each other confirmed that their relationship runs deeper than many imagine. These kinds of moments have always marked Taekook. Over the years, they've shared many experiences together, both on and off stage. And although they were physically separated during their time in the military, the emotions didn't fade. Now that they're back, it's clear they're both keeping the memories they've created together alive. For those who have followed their story, it's no surprise to see this kind of behavior between them. But for those who doubted their closeness or thought their bond had cooled, this reunion was a silent but powerful response. Jungkook and Taehyung don't need to confirm anything with words. What they convey when they're together is enough. Even amid rumors, comparisons, or assumptions, the only thing that's real is what you see, a relationship based on trust, familiarity, and a connection that has grown stronger over time. It's not about proving anything to others, but about how they choose to interact when they share the same space. And what they show is authentic, close, and emotionally meaningful. That's why this moment wasn't just another one. It was a way to show that Taekook is still united, that their love is still an important part of their lives. And now that their military commitments are over, we may start to see more interactions between them, perhaps on a project, a trip, or simply in their daily lives. What's clear is that the spark that unites them is still burning. That way of being close to each other, of touching each other effortlessly, of understanding each other with a single glance, all of that is still there. For many, these kinds of details speak louder than any declaration. Because when it comes to Taekook, emotions aren't always expressed with words, but with small actions that, together, create an unforgettable story. In a world where it's easy to pretend, Taehyung and Jungkook continue to exemplify how true connection needs no explanation. They don't try to attract attention or create forced moments. It's just them, sharing the space naturally, with that closeness that has always characterized them. And that, for many, is the most special thing of all. If this reunion made one thing clear, it's that even as time passes and circumstances change, some connections remain just as strong. And Taekook is one of them. After a long time apart due to military service, Taehyung and Jungkook's appearance together again didn't go unnoticed. On the contrary, it was a moment that revealed something much deeper than a simple reunion. The bond between them remains strong and natural. No matter how much time has passed or how many things have changed around them, the two remain connected in a way that needs no words to be understood. Since they were physically close again, a clear change has been noticeable. Before, those moments together were shorter, less frequent. Now, there's a sense of continuity in their way of acting. There's no need to hide or pretend they're not close. They do it openly, effortlessly, and that says much more than any declaration. It's common to see them staring at each other for a long time, how one turns their bodies slightly toward the other without any need for direct contact, or how their hands meet even when no one expects it. These movements don't respond to a script or a prepared moment. You can tell they're natural, constant, and arise without any force. In each of these gestures, something key is perceived: comfort. Taehyung and Jungkook aren't acting, they feel safe with each other. The closeness between them doesn't create tension or discomfort, on the contrary, it allows them to move freely. There are no more nervous pauses or averted glances. And that's important, because it makes it clear that this isn't a performance designed for an audience. Some people try to explain this as part of the show, as if everything was planned. But when the same gestures are repeated with the same person over time, it's hard to call it a coincidence. Taehyung and Jungkook seek each other out with their eyes, approach each other with confidence, touch each other without hesitation. All of this has a clear meaning. It's an expression of a relationship that has continued to grow, even at a distance. We're not talking about something new, but something that has matured. Despite being constantly exposed to the public, they have never lost that unique way of communicating. And that's what makes this reunion not just an exciting moment, but a reaffirmation of what was already known. The bond between them is real, solid, and remains strong no matter how much time passes. One of the most striking elements of the relationship between Taehyung and Jungkook is their body language. It's not just how they behave in public, but the small details they leave behind in each appearance. There's a repeating pattern that's impossible to ignore. Their gestures remain constant over time. They aren't random movements, nor improvised decisions. They are habits that reveal closeness and trust. Touching each other's arms without hesitation, settling in next to each other, reaching for each other even when they're not talking, all of this happens frequently. And always in different contexts, which makes it clear it's not part of a rehearsed moment. This type of behavior only appears when two people share a deep connection that needs no explanation. Many may think these gestures are fan service, but the difference lies in their naturalness. Fan service is usually exaggerated, obviously acted, or intentional to attract attention. But when you observe Taehyung and Jungkook, what you see is fluidity. There's no stiffness, no effort. Their bodies respond as if they're used to being together. Furthermore, their gazes speak volumes. There are moments when they simply stare at each other, without needing to move. That long, undistracted pause indicates a kind of attention that goes beyond the superficial. They're present for each other, no matter who else is around. It's also evident that there's no intention to hide it. Instead of distancing themselves or appearing distant in front of the cameras, they act with complete freedom. They make no effort to separate their paths when they are in public, suggesting there is nothing to hide. This way of showing themselves is stronger than any verbal declaration, because it shows that their relationship is part of their everyday life, not an act for fans. The repetition of these behaviors has created a language between them. Every movement becomes a signal. And these kinds of codes aren't created overnight. Only those who have shared time, experiences, and emotions can develop this way of understanding each other without speaking. Therefore, what we see between Taehyung and Jungkook cannot be reduced to entertainment. Their gestures, their glances, their moments of physical contact are not there just to be observed. They are manifestations of a story that continues to be written through each appearance. A story not based on what is said, but on what is repeated naturally, sincerely, and with a kind of closeness that only two people with a real relationship can maintain over time.